Alright, we're going to do an interview, okay, about these faces that I found on top of the Peaks of Otter here in Bedford, Virginia. They are located on the mountain that I live on. I can actually, if I could shoot an arrow, it would be about probably 2,500 feet from where I live right now. This interview will be conducted by Sherry, my best friend and my partner. So, let's get this show on the road. What do you have for a question there, Sherry?
How did you first discover these figures?
Okay, the first faces that I've seen, and the way I had seen it was through my physical eyes while I was working at the gas station that used to be on the Peaks of Otter. One day I was just looking up at the mountain, and there it was. It's like I could see this face, but barely. It's a woman's face. And I'm like, what the heck is a woman's face doing on top of the Peaks of Otter? I didn't believe it, but I could see this, so it didn't make sense, but I still didn't believe it. So I had to go home that night and contemplate on this thing, and I said, there's no way on earth I could actually see a woman's face on the top of the Peaks of Otter. What on earth would a face be doing up there? So, the next morning, I decided to pick up my binoculars, go to work with them. So, in the afternoon, when I had my 30-minute lunch break or whatever, I pulled out the binoculars and I looked to the top of the mountain, a little bit to the right, and there it was. This woman's face. I could see it. Still didn't make sense, so I just did my thing. Went home after work, thought about it some more, and said, this is just kind of strange. Why would there be a woman's face on the top of the Peaks of Otter? So, back again to work. I took out the binoculars again about lunch break, 12 o'clock. Sure enough, there she was. Beautiful face. Perfect. Looked like she was in her 30s. It was just this face that had the look of a 30-year-old woman. Long hair. She actually had a crown, not on a crown, but you couldn't see that then, but I could see a hairband going through her hair. That was way back. That was back in 1993. So, back home I went. Contemplated this thing again. I said, this is not possible. So one more time I looked through the binoculars and I could see her, and I thought my mind was playing tricks on me, and I said, no, can't be true. I dismissed it. Never brought my binoculars up again because I did not believe it. It just messed with my head too much, I guess. It just didn't make any sense. So that was one way that I saw one of the faces. The other way was when I was living here, I'd say somewhere around 93, I did some remote viewing. And I went up. Well, let's start here. Right behind this camera is a window. When you do remote viewing, it's very similar, if not exactly the same as astral projection. All the teachers in the past, a lot of them, they talk about this. They teach this to some of the people. I think even some of the disciples of Christ learned how to do remote viewing. So anyways, I left this window out of the house that I'm in now. Actually, from the room, this is where I was staying, and I went 1,000 feet up into the air, and I was just floating up in space for a good minute or two, and then something grabbed a hold of me and forced me to go cross this baboon. There's a face of a baboon that I went right beside, and then there's a large woman's face that I went beside also, and I didn't see them at that time. And I flew around the mountain, and I got in front of the mountain, and about a 45-degree angle, about 500 feet away from this male face. And I was like, what the heck is this happening? Why is this happening? Because sometimes when you're doing remote viewing or soul travel, astral projection, whatever you want to call it, it can seem like a fairy tale. It can seem like it's not real. But when I was in front of this mountain looking at this face, you can tell because you're looking at the trees, you're looking at, at everything, and it's like, it's just right there in plain sight. Okay, and everything is energy, so it's like it can be daytime, it can be nighttime, it's irrelevant. It's just brighter at daytime, but you can actually see everything at nighttime because everything is energy. But I could see this face, and it was a nice face that looked male to me. I looked at it for a while, and I decided to get close to it, so I flew to the face, and I went around the face to the left, and it disappeared. That was fine. I had no problem with that. That's when I decided to go to the moon. I took a flight to the moon. This is real stuff. It happens. Okay? A flight to the moon, and then I started to head towards what looked like a bright yellowish city far away. But my mind kept going back to that face and why was it there, and I came back to my physical body. And that was how that all began. Fun stuff. It's all fun stuff. And I don't know if you remember when you was young, anybody that's watching this video, that you had these flying dreams. Sometimes in flying dreams, what you were doing was remote viewing or astral projection. Simple stuff. We all do it. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what you believe. Well, guess what? I can guarantee you, you have had many flying dreams, or at least one who's ever watching this video. So, that was how that all began. Hey, let's do at least one more question. That's it.
What do you say to people who believe these are just a pile of rocks?
Oh yeah, I've had some of my best friends tell me they're just a pile of rocks. These are the Mainers up north. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people. I say, you know what? You need to come down to Virginia, all you Yankees, and yeah, come on down. You need to see this for yourself. Or go to YouTube. Check out Mountains of Mystery 2 and see the night of Mountains of Mystery 11 and see the mimetolith of a 18-foot long Mayan guy. You can tell it's a guy, not a girl, looking up to the sky. There are faces up on this mountain that you can look at, and you can tell without even trying that they are male faces or they are female faces. You can even tell if it's a young male or an older male with a beard. This thing just goes on and on and on. It's just crazy, fun stuff, and I am so thankful that I get to share it on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Facebook. Love you guys. Big time. That's it. I appreciate it. Sign off for now. This is the first interview. There'll be plenty coming up. See you later.